getting...
Am I in frame?
I like how it's just focused, like trying to focus on both of our faces right now. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Average at Best. As always, I'm Rob.
And I'm Josh, and today we are going to be covering the PBA Tour Finals that just took place over the past weekend. We just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a recap as to what went on, what happened, who won, and basically our thoughts about a couple of things that happened over the weekend. So to start off, we're going to talk about Group 1, which consisted of Jason Belmonte, Kyle Troup, Tom Doherty, and Chris Prather. They had their 4 games of qualifying, much like Group 2 did. Then they did the stepladder final. I think it was Chris Prather who was seeded the 4th because he...
I mean, either way, Tom Doherty and Chris Prather were the last 2 qualifiers, so they had to play first. Prather ended up doubling to beat Doherty. Now, real quickly, I want to say congrats to Tom Doherty for making the Tour Finals.
Yeah, for real. That was a very big surprise for me to see him up there.
Just snuck right in there, and that was because of his World Championship wins last year. And you know, really big kudos to him because he's been bowling out there for a really long time and not had a lot of wins, so it's...
Yeah, it felt like it was due,
yeah,
you know, for him to, and it was good to see him finally, you know, up in the spotlight of the Tour Finals.
Sadly, though, Prather did beat him with a double in the 10th, and then, of course, Troup, the next game,
we all know,
decides to bowl 300.
Kind of didn't give Chris a chance at all to do anything.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it was a runaway. Sort of halfway through the game, it looked like Troup just had it locked up, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you get to like 7, 8, and you see like your opponent like has a couple of spares in there, it's like you pretty much got it on lock at that point in time. And I mean, of course, he finished the deal by doing a 300, which was $10,000
really nice bonus.
Yeah, $10,000 bonus, so he gets to go home with some money.
Yeah, and then he ran into Belmo, and Belmo
completely lost his look.
Yeah, I mean, he did stone a couple 9 pins, but his look just was not nearly as good as it was in that 300 game, and Belmo kind of was able to just take him down in 2 games. Belmo didn't bowl amazingly, but he just was consistent, bowled some solid games, and took him down.
Right, exactly. And I mean, we all know the crash from the 300. I mean, some of us have experienced it. We bowl a 300, and then the next game's, you know...
It's hard to come back from that, especially when you got the whole crowd there. You have to refocus. Like, I need to win this game. You know?
I mean, I feel for Troup because, I mean, his adrenaline must have been, like, through the roof at that point because, you know, not every day you get to shoot 300 in front of a crowd of people that are like watching you
on national television.
On national television as well.
So now let's go ahead and just get into Group 2 now. And Group 2 was Jacob Buttroff, Dom Barrett, EJ Tackett, and Anthony Simonson. Now Dom Barrett was the 4 seed.
Yes.
He bowled the worst out of all of the 8 players. He had the lowest average by a pretty significant margin. And
what was his average again?
It was like 215, I believe, through the 4 games,
something like
which
that.
was very low compared to everybody else.
Exactly, which, I mean, it just shows you how high of a scoring event it was.
Yeah, and
215 was the low average.
It seemed like everybody else in his first game, like against Jacob Buttroff, he bowled just good enough to get by pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, he won comfortably. Like, he won by 40, 50 pins, whatever. But it wasn't like he was bowling out of his mind.
No.
He just was bowling consistent and getting a lot of breaks. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he got, I think you counted it. It was something
like 10 plus
10
trip 4
10
pins.
trip 4 pins, and yeah, that's just kind of like that thing where you get those hits and you know that it's kind of your day to like just get lucky basically.
Yeah, and I mean exactly like Simonson in his... He lost the first game to Barrett, and then in the second game when he left a 7 pin and missed it, he said it himself that like some days you're just not meant to win. And I mean when Barrett was just tripping everything, and
yeah, I mean it's the way it is. It's tough to go against a guy who's, you know, hitting the pocket but like not quite getting flush shots, but he's just getting everything to go. Everybody has those days where they trip everything. They seem like they can carry the house. And yeah, Dom definitely looked like he had that, but he was able to move on to the title match between Belmo and him, and this is where we got our next great thing that happened. Belmo actually just decides to turn around and shoot a 300 himself.
Second of the day. Woo! 34th all-time televised 300 game in PBA Tour history.
So that was a very good treat. I think that's the first PBA telecast to actually have 2 televised 300 games in the same day.
Televised event. It was incredible, and especially like a couple, I think like 2 of Belmo's strikes on the right lane were very high flush. So in the 10th frame, that's the lane he had to finish on. I was thinking like, oh man, it's going to be tough for him to throw these and feel confident, but all 3 of the shots he threw were great. And in his last ball, he let go of it, hands up in the air. He knew it was going to strike.
Yeah, I mean that's why he's the greatest in the world. He just steps up and he's able to go on a lane that he's not good on and put up 3 amazing shots. And the last one, he's just like, I got it, basically.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing as well is his first 300 was in 2012.
Yeah.
And it's 10 years later now, in 2022, he gets his second ever 300. It's incredible.
Now we gotta just wait until 2032 and we'll get his third.
Get his third. But yeah, so then Belmo went on to shoot a pretty comfortable 230. He really was, he was staying aggressive, but for the most part in cruise control. Dom Barrett was not really able to get those off hits, and he just kind of didn't have a great look.
Yeah, I mean, the whole day he was basically going off of those like really lucky shots, and you know, if you have a game where you don't get those, then it's very easy to fall behind. And I mean, the first game he had no chance.
Yeah.
But the second game, he just didn't get enough shots to go his way like he had in the past, so he very quickly fell behind. And yeah, Belmo wins his 30th PBA title, his 5th title of 2022, with 4 titles and 1 major. So,
and this will probably lock up the 7th player of the year for him. We're going to go ahead and do another video coming probably tomorrow or some point within the next few days, talking about the PBA Player of the Year race and pretty much why Belmo has locked up his 7th Player of the Year, which would tie Walter Ray Williams Jr. for the all-time record for most Player of the Years. And man, Belmo is the gift that just keeps on giving, isn't he?
Yeah, for real. I mean, pretty soon, I'm pretty sure that pretty soon we're gonna start talking about him getting up there in terms of the titles to like tying all-time titles very soon. Because I mean, you know, he wins 5 titles this year. I mean, if he just keeps up that like around that same number for like the next few years, like around 4, 3, like maybe even more. I mean, he's on track to hit, you know, the top number of athletes.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
And, yeah, and the thing is, it took Walter Ray, I think, like anywhere from the range of 20 to 30 years to get 7 Player of the Years. And Belmo, if he wins this Player of the Year title, which he will, this would be 7 Player of the Years out of the last 11 years.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. He's only had 4 years where he hasn't been the Player of the Year.
And I mean, like, there was that one stretch of time where he was back to back to back Player of the Years, and he was dominating.
Just undoubtedly the best person who can throw a bowling ball in the world. It's just
hands down.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that fact, and you know, a lot of people don't like the fact that he bowls two-handed, but you have to admit that what we're watching is like Tiger Woods, Tom Brady. I like to just sit back and appreciate that we are watching somebody who is so historically amazing that they're going to be talked about in this sport forever.
Yeah, and
I mean, I just think it's just, you have to just sit back and appreciate that we get to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want about the fact that being a two-handed bowler gives you an advantage. I mean, I've thought about it too, because I mean, obviously I bowl two-handed, and I will not lie. you know, I was terrible as a one-hander, and whenever I switched, I instantly saw a difference in like how much pin carry I was getting and how much I was able to power I was able to put on the ball. But at the same time, there's so much else that goes into it, because I mean, you can have the two-handed power, but if you don't know how to control it, you're just going to get wiped off the face of the earth like any other average bowler.
Yeah, and,
so
and same goes for spares as well.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, Belmo's very consistent on his spares. Belmo's very good at being able to put the ball down in the same place, the same exact board, like to the inch, like every single time. And
I think he's one of the most accurate two-handers. I think one of the most accurate players, even. I mean, to be honest.
And if anything, if anything, I just feel like you have to acknowledge that of how accurate he is and how much he's able to be consistent with the ball. And I think that's why he's got all this success around him.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into some more depth in our next video about the player of the year.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be as long as this one. We didn't intend for this video to be nearly as long as it is, but if you're still here, thank you for sticking around. I encourage you to both like and subscribe the video down below. It helps out a channel like ours quite a bit, as you know.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of growing left to do, and you know, we love doing this YouTube thing. So
yeah, we love and appreciate every single person that decides to come onto this channel and check us out. So yeah, it would mean a lot to us. We're on the road to 2K now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would really appreciate it if you would like to, you know, give us a subscribe, give us a like, anything helps for us. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah.
Peace out.